This week on LinkedIn, there was a post one of my colleagues put out, which included a stat which was only 22% of SDRs that become AEs get near or hit their quota. So somebody messaged me, an SDR that I really, really respect, who has actually just been promoted to AE at a new gig, and he's one of the best SDRs I've worked with. He messaged me as an SDR, about to take the leap into a junior AE role. That stat is a little intimidating. He liked my advice, which I commented on the post, of leaning on your ops and enablement team, but for teams that don't have that yet, which is his concern. His team doesn't have an ops enablement team. What would you tell him to do to be in that 22% who are actually going to achieve their quota as AEs transitioning from SDRs?
Is the stat like their first quarter only 22% hit their quota?
Call it the first year.
Yeah. So, I mean, I go back to when I actually transitioned from an SDR to an AE. And that actually my very first month, I don't even know if I hit quota or not that month, to be honest. But I remember I was like second to last person as an AE. And then after that, I was at the top every single freaking quarter. But
sure, you were
100%. Dude,
sure.
I crushed it. I worked my freaking ass off. That's what I did. Like, I was shadowing all the time. I was I was the first person in the office. I was the last person out of the office. Our VP actually, every Friday, he's like, I come in at 7:00 a.m. and I review calls. Anyone can actually come and do that with me. I was the only person who always came in at 7:00 on a Friday to review calls with him. Aside from just like being the hardest worker, is I think just like reviewing more calls than anyone else. I like listening to calls. What are the people who are hitting their quota? What are they doing? Also, like, what are the people at the bottom doing? How do you not do some of that stuff? Right?
It's true. Yeah. Practicing imperfectly, it implies permanence, right? Like if you do things wrong and don't know that they're wrong, then you will be permanently wrong. And so learning the things that bad reps are doing to make sure you're not doing them is very, very important.
Exactly.
So one of the key things you mentioned there, though, is call recordings. And obviously, we listen to a lot of call recordings because we sell a product that does call recordings. Just so everybody knows, it's so important because do the work, which is the thing you said that I totally agree with. Right? Isn't just like make the calls, do the meetings. It's do the extra things to learn how to be better at the job. That's the actual work, right? And that can be call recordings. That can be sitting in on calls. That can be listening to what doesn't work or joining every training session or going back to your sales enablement tool or asking for extra coaching time with your manager or whatever that might be. That's actually the work you need to do is sort of what I'm hearing.